So recently I've been reading about the Plantagenet dynasty who ruled over England uh, after the Normans, essentially. And there was this remarkable episode during the Second Barons' War, during the late reign of Henry III. Henry III was a very weak king who was dominated by various factions. And during this war, the rebels were fighting against him for, rejecting their demands and for really allowing for a certain family to wreak havoc and injustice across the land. They had defeated Henry at a great showdown at the Battle of Lewes, and as a consequence, Henry was no more than a puppet king, being held captive by Simon de Montfort, and his son, Edward, soon to be Edward I, was held as a prisoner. Now, Edward was allowed to have visitors, and occasionally they would come to visit with permission, but he was always under guard. But one day, he went out hunting with his guards and with some friends, and they engaged in a bit of a game. They were swapping horses to see who had the fastest horse. Now, it turned out that this wasn't just a game. It was a ruse. Edward was trying to find which horse was the fastest so that he could make his getaway. So, he found the fastest horse, and when he did, he said the following: "Lordings, I bid you good day. Greet my father well, and tell him I hope to see him soon, and release him from custody." And with that, Edward and his friends escaped, and then they met up with the royalist army. And Edward, in magnificent splendor, said that he would restore good old laws, abolish evil customs, expel aliens from the realm, and entrust government to the native Englishman. So really, he was going to restore the country. He was going to overthrow the rebel faction, which had become itself tyrannical and was plundering the land for its own gain, and using a lot of mercenaries and so on. And he was the kind of ideal king come to life. He was an Arthurian figure who, in reality, and I think that's quite interesting that he found Arthur to be a personal inspiration and somebody he looked up to. So I wanted to share this because so often we are so cynical about historical figures. Edward was a real-life fantasy hero.